Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Iron Woman. We've spoken to Steve Hill before. He's overcoming many hills. There's always a hill, there's always an uphill, there's always a downhill. He's a teacher, adventurer, author, extreme ultramarathon runner. The list can go on and on. Now is the time to hear more and also learn about his charity. Listen to the story when he met the Queen and made her laugh.
As lockdown was coming to an end, was just recently in August, the Great Norse Run, which was running those 9 marathons in 9 days across Iceland from the north to the south of Iceland, which was, again, completely epic, completely pushing the boundaries. It was an amazing adventure with some wonderful people. And so that's the challenges up to date, as it were, and I'm now looking for my next challenge, if you like.
And you just completed the London Marathon. How is it if you just do one marathon and you're done?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to say it's easy because a marathon isn't easy, is it? And
No.
you don't want to, insult people who do marathons. Marathons are very, very difficult races. But when you have been to that level of just running 9 marathons, then yeah, the one marathon is. I think it's that mindset again. I'll go back to like you start a marathon, and yes, they're tough, and not a very minute amount of people have run a marathon, but you'll complete it that day. And you can rest them for the rest of the week, can't you? And what have you. But the ultra marathons, it is running that marathon, hydrating, getting the food inside you, getting a very limited sleep in a tent or a hammock, and then getting up again and going again and doing that multiple times, the toll that takes on the body. But I love that. I love the mind games. I love that the games of getting up on tired legs, getting those legs moving, those aching muscles moving and pushing on. And as I say, listening to that little voice in your head that says, I can, I will, just watch me. And ignoring those little voices that keep saying, come on, have a rest. This is stupid now. Come on, enough's enough. I love that battle, if you like.
And what do you think when you run? What goes on in your head?
All sorts. And I do think it's always running is a nice time to think as well, isn't it? When you're training as well, they are good times. So I enjoy the journey. I make sure I appreciate my surroundings and I appreciate what a privilege it is to be in these, extreme environments, whether it's under the Northern Lights in the Amazon jungle, whatever. What a great privilege. And I make sure I try and enjoy that, making sure that I'm keeping putting one foot in front of the other. I have that mantra of left foot, right foot, repeat, and keep moving forward. And all sorts. You do have your low points and your dark moments where you are exhausted and you're almost at your end. You've got nothing left to give. But yeah, there is a bit more in there, isn't it? There's always a bit more to give.
There's always more.
There's always more. No matter how exhausted we feel, there's always more to give, that one more step. But I think about the charity. I think about charities raising money for the people that I'm able to do things that I can do, how privileged I am. I think about the children at school, and I think about what they would say to me if I thought about sitting down and giving up. And it'd be, get on with it, sir. How dare you? As I say, I'm friends and family, just keeping going. And again, remembering my why. Why did I start this in the first place? It's to push my own boundaries. And you're pushing your boundaries, it is going to get tough. It is going to be uncomfortable sometimes, but in a good way. I have a little saying, it's pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. And it is about that, living with that, pushing on. And it is. And little treats. I do split up these big ultra marathons into small steps. I think anything in life that's quite overwhelming, if we split it down into manageable chunks, it's less overwhelming. So the ultra marathon is, well, let's start off with one step at a time. Let's get to that first step. And that first step becomes that 1 mile at a time. And it's then one checkpoint at a time, then one day at a time. Everything it's achievements, isn't it? Small little achievements and pats on the back and realizing how far you've come and being proud of that. But we still got a bit of a way to go. It is, and get to the next checkpoint and having a bit of music. So earphones in, a bit of music, a little bit of a treat. And next checkpoint, I'll have a little bit of candle mint cake or a little bit of licorice. And it's little treats along the way as you go. But I'm a firm believer in these big, overwhelming things, these big projects we undertake, split them down into small, manageable successes, isn't it? And before you know it, you've achieved that big unachievable goal, seemed unachievable at the beginning. All sorts go through your mind, but as I say, I go back to those mind games. I love the mind games.
You said like you have a licorice or something. What do you miss?
You do have cravings. I mean, bizarrely, in the Amazon jungle, I was dreaming about steak pies and salt and vinegar crisps and Coca-Cola. It's the salty thing. It's the things salty. That you do with me. And sometimes things you've never had before, but those cravings. And it is, as I say, salty things, stodgy things that you really do crave, and sweet things you don't particularly like. And no matter what you take food-wise, you go off it midway through the race because, as I say, everything seems very bland. So it is the salty. I would have given anything for it.
Yeah. What do you do when you come back from those magical experiences? You come back into reality. And I had a person on my podcast, John Beatty, and he has done Mount Everest, Kilimanjaro, all the highest mountains. And he says it's kind of like you're in almost like a cocoon, and then you come back to reality. How is that?
I generally find all of my challenges have to be school holidays. But generally, I finish on the Friday. It could be a half term, a week's holiday, and I squeeze things in. I'm often getting back on the Sunday night. And I've got very little time to adapt back then to normal life. I'm in school the following day, often completely exhausted, often battered. But then I've got a class of children in front of me. It's a case of back to the day. As a teacher, your holidays are set. But I do find that at home, when I'm in bed, I'm dreaming about being back in the tent or back in the hammock for about 3 or 4 days afterwards. I wake up and I'm not in my bedroom. I'm in the jungle. I'm in the outside. That takes a little bit of mental getting back to normality. But yeah, the children soon get me back to reality and the day job, because, as I say, it's often that quick turnaround. And also proving to people that we might make excuses. Well, I've not got enough time. I can squeeze in the Amazon jungle or the Arctic ice ultra within a week. It can be done, isn't it? And yeah, we're exhausted, we're battered, but it's a nice exhaustion. It's a total and utter body is completely exhausted, but in a nice way. And to sit behind my desk and the children to come in and it's like, how was it, sir? How was it, sir?
What questions do the children have? Obviously, they're following you.
They do also. I mean, on a few of the events, there's been a tracker, so they've been able to spend time following my progress. And, person saying they wouldn't go to bed at night until they knew you were in camp, and they're following your progress, which was fabulous. And at times they'd lose the signal and they'd think, oh, what's happened to sir? He stopped moving, or he's gone off track, and it was just that the signal had gone. But to know that the children sat up at home in school holidays following sir, and as I said, they wouldn't go to bed until they knew you were safe in camp, that means the world to me, and that means everything. But it's great. When I do get back, they want to know all about it. I've got to give time for that, because it's bringing the curriculum to life. It's bringing adventure to life, isn't it? And it's did you in the jungle, did you see snakes? Did you see jaguars? Did you and how was it for this? And what was the worst thing you saw? And it's just fabulous to be able to share that adventure with you. To set that in the middle of the night, at midnight, I was swimming through a river through the Amazon, and there were piranhas in there, there were caiman in there, and it's bringing life to life, isn't it, for them in that sense, and showing them my feet and showing them the toenails that are hanging off and all the gory bits they love. I put a PowerPoint together. I share it with the children, but I also have the privilege of going out and I get asked to do talks in other schools and doing assemblies in other schools whenever I can fit it in within my teaching commitment. It's great to share the adventure with others. That message of get out there for your own adventures, have that confidence to follow your own dreams, and that I can and I will mentality. I can, I will. Just watch me. If that's all they leave me with, then and go through life with that mentality of I can, I will. Just watch me. So and then that hand goes up at the back, and it's like, great. What's next? Whether I like it or not, it carries on. I've
seen on your page, you also dress up and you've met the Queen. What happened? You made the Queen laugh.
It was. I do get the opportunity to dress up now and again. It's not always shorts and t-shirt and mud and sweat. Back in 2014, I received a letter from the Cabinet Office saying that I've been awarded an MBE, which is a member of the British Empire, awarded by the Queen, which totally floored me. Totally out of the blue. You don't feel that you deserve it. It's a real special award, as I said, from the Queen. I was nominated and put forward by parents at school, and it had been endorsed, and it was just an amazing thing to receive. And it was announced in the New Year's Honours in 2015, and I got my date in March to go to Buckingham Palace, took my family down to receive the award, which is just beyond anything you can imagine. You don't know who's going to present you on the day until you arrive at the palace, so you don't know which member of the royal family it will be. But I was told that if the flag was flying above Buckingham Palace, it would be the Queen's in residence. And as I made my way down the Mall with my family, the flag was flying. There was a chance. And as we entered the palace, I overheard a little old lady ask one of the guards, as we walked on the red carpet, who's presenting today, and he said, you've got the Queen. It just made it extra special. We had our briefing, family there waiting. Your moment comes, and you're waiting there, and 5 or 6 paces away is the Queen. A Queen who you've seen on telly many, many times, you've grown up with, and she's there. And then before I knew it, I was stood in front of the Queen. And she's looking at me and smiling at me, and it's the most surreal moment you can. She pinned the medal on me, and then we started a conversation. It was just the Queen's talking to me type of thing, and she knew all about me, and it was just like having a normal conversation with your grandma. She said, "You're a teacher, you do these inspiring challenges, and you raise me for charity." I said, "I do, ma'am." And I said, "I'm going to the North Pole in 2 weeks, ma'am, to run the North Pole Marathon." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "To be honest with you, ma'am, I think I'm a bit bonkers." And it just got the nicest chuckle from her. And she just chuckled away and said, "Well, good luck. I hope it all goes well. Congratulations." Shook my hand. And that was my moment with the Queen. Done. At that time, I hadn't realised I'd made her laugh, but it was caught on camera. And my sister laughed. "What did you say to me?" The Queen laughed. And I hadn't realised it. And I just thought it was captured. And it's a moment I'll never forget. It's a special moment because there's not many people can say they made the Queen laugh. That was being awarded the MBE for services to education and charity. The children are a big part of that. So I take the medal into class. They get a chance to wear it because it's not about me. It's about the children I teach. It's about friends and family. A lot of people are involved.
Even me watching the video, I was like, magical moment. You use that word many times, but tell us a little bit about the charity, because I think everybody needs to be involved. Everybody needs to support you.
No, thank you. Back in 2009, that's when I started fundraising, and it was fundraising for national charities. The way it used to work was that my class would start with me in September, and the question would be, "What's your challenge this year, sir?" And then which charities are we going to support? And they would nominate charities to support, and it would be national charities. And I'd do my challenge, we'd do some fundraising events, and then we send a check off to this charity at the end of the year, which was fabulous. But I think deep down, I always knew that one day I'd like to set my own charity up and have a little bit more control over where that money went and to spend that money a bit further afield. In 2018, I visited Uganda for the first to take part in the Uganda Marathon. And I was going to run the marathon, but it was a week in Masaka where I got involved in projects. And my project was the primary school. I didn't know what to expect, but it was something I'd always wanted to do. And it was just the most amazing week. Again, that magical word I could use. It was a week of to an orphanage, meeting the children, listening to the stories, which were heart-wrenching at times. Going to the school, getting involved with projects, digging holes, digging wells, making gardens, making a football pitch, making a net, all sorts of things, but just being immersed within that community for a whole week. And it just had such an impact on me that week that when it came to the end of the week and it was time to run the marathon, I just thought, well, the marathon's going to be an insignificance. This week has just been life-changing. But the marathon was magical as well. It was a marathon like no other. It was running through the villages. And every 5 or 6 steps was a group of children cheering and clapping, and I'm just high-fiving them and stopping and chatting with them, teaching them the Mr. Hill's double thumbs up, and it was big beamy smiles. So it was running, it was stopping, it was high-fiving, they were running with me. It was just amazing. I had a group of children who ran with me for maybe 2 or 3K, but this one boy stuck with me. And it's a nice story I like to tell. And he ran with me for about 5, 6, 7K. And it was great. We were chatting. I had an earphone in. He had an earphone listening to music. He was asking me about all the gear I had. I was sharing my gels with him. And I got to a point where I thought, I don't want him to continue too far. I don't want him getting lost. I gave him 1,000 shillings when we got to like a crossroads, and it's about 50 pence. As I said, "Thanks for keeping me company. I'll catch you on the next loop. Go and buy yourself some sweets." And it was as though I'd given the world. Big smile. Off he ran. And I carried on with the race. And I thought that would be the last one potentially. Within about 10 minutes, I looked over my shoulder. And behind me was this little boy, and he'd gone and bought 2 ice creams, and he ran up behind me with 2 ice creams. And he said, "For you." And it brought home to me how giving, these people are. It's not all about them. And I left Uganda that year thinking, realizing what a small amount could make such a massive difference. And I returned the year after, and then I decided, yes, it was time to set my own charity up with the aim of supporting projects and making a difference in Uganda, but also supporting local people within my local community. And the tagline is making a difference, it's Team Hill Charitable Trust, making a difference. And it's just gone from strength to strength. Got some wonderful trustees, wonderful volunteers, and it's just again, magical, and it's just the right thing. It feels right. And during lockdown, food shops for the elderly and vulnerable, supported the hospitals. We did over 3,000 food shops, and it is making a difference. And the children at school are involved. We make a difference in our local community. And as I say, it's going from strength to strength, and it's great to see having like-minded people coming together and making a difference. And I think in life, that should really be our aim, isn't it? If we possibly can, just make a difference. If it's only to one person's life, let's just make a mark on the world, isn't it, and make a difference.
What's coming? It seems like you don't have anything lined up for next year, or you have something in your head.
There will be something will find me. I'm looking for something suitable now. I've got a little bit of something I could announce now, if you like. That during lockdown, obviously, when I wasn't traveling, I took on a different challenge with a friend called Ian Blunt, and I've written a book about my challenge as well, which is, again, a real quite surreal thing to realize. It's going to the publishers next week. It's entitled "What's Next, Sir?" And it's how one teacher's mission to inspire his pupils taught him so much more in return. It's exciting that this story, if you like, is going into much more detail, and that people will be able to read about the challenges, about the motivation behind it, and hopefully raise a few questions for themselves about their dreams and following their dreams. Watch this space. Quite exciting to have that out, and there'll be a signed copy on the way to you, Suzanne, without a doubt, in the post.
You're a total inspiration. One person can make a huge difference in another person's lives.
Living your best life, isn't it? Living your best life. And that is helping others often, isn't it? Helping other people and being happy with yourself, isn't it? And that sounds like you say you're doing exactly the same. So you keep up your great work too, inspiring others and making that difference. Thank you, Suzanne.
What a story. Again, magical. Those words are coming up. Never give up. It's about the determination, and dream big, and don't let your dreams be crushed by others. Be yourself. Have your head up. One step at a time, one day at a time, 1 mile at a time, and you get to your goals. You can fulfill your dreams. You reach your goal. Thank you so much for your support. Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday, every Wednesday. Don't miss out. There's something for everybody. Climbers on Kilimanjaro, 9 days, 9 marathon, Amazon jungle. What else? What else do you need to hear? Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you next time.